And welcome back to another episode of Oh Look, It's a Squirrel. Now today I want to talk about something I've heard one other person talk about it, and it's funny because my mind was on the same thing for some months now, and it's the conditioning that's going on. Now if you don't understand the whole conditioning thing, let me put it into a little simple analogy, I guess. So, a Muay Thai fighter, for instance, if you've ever kicked anything or accidentally caught yourself on the shin, it hurts, right? It absolutely wow. It hurts, massively hurts. Now, a Muay Thai fighter conditions his shins by constantly kicking. And what it does, it hairline fractures the shin and it fills with calcium. And it hairline fractures more and more and more until the whole shin, after 2 years of kicking shit out of a tree or a post or a bag, it becomes numb to the skin, to the pain. You do not feel the pain anymore. Well, you might feel some, but it's nowhere near what it is if you just regular you and me walk up and kick something with your shin. And the whole conditioning thing that's happening at the moment, I see, is becoming so apparent. I see so many people just not noticing anything anymore. It's as if you've just been drilled and drilled and drilled and drilled by this stuff, and now you don't even notice it. Kind of like the Muay Thai fighter who kicks the tree. I remember living in Thailand and seeing a guy kick a banana tree till it fell over. Kicking part, we used to walk down this one path towards the beach, and there used to be a tree that I used to notice that at about sort of waist height had a lot of the bark missing, and it was kind of indented, and you could tell somebody had been whacking it constantly. And I remember catching the guy one morning really early, about 6 o'clock, kicking the tree full on as hard as he could, both legs. Shocking to sit and watch it happen. It was shocking. I'm sure there's a few videos on YouTube of people kicking down trees. It's insane. But the conditioning that takes is massive. It's massive conditioning. And I see people's minds and brains being conditioned so much so that, like I said, they just don't notice what's happening. They don't notice, even though it's right in their face. Don't notice. And the other thing I wanted to bring up today is what I call the push-push-stop technique. Now, if you're stood somewhere and a person comes walking up towards you and gets really close to your face, you back off. And you say something and you're like, "Hey, get back." So the technique I see is this: push, push, stop. The public outrage, rah, and then it calms down. Push, push by the government, stop. Public outrage. This repeats and repeats and repeats until, if you use the analogy of someone walking up to you, you were stood here and now you're a mile away saying the same thing. "Hey mate, back off." And this push, push, stop, outrage, calm down, push, push, stop, outrage, calm down technique is being used everywhere at the moment. And I don't think too many people notice it. like the person who walks up to somebody, they don't notice that they've backed off and backed off and backed off and backed off until they're like completely in a different place to when they started. Now, when it comes to this, what we're talking about, we're not winning this. I'd love to say we are, but even with the protests, even with all this different stuff, it's phenomenal. It's absolutely, like, I can't get my head around it, how people keep getting pushed back. We're not gaining anything. We're not gaining that yard that they're gaining. We're not gaining it back. And every time we step back and be like, whoa, it doesn't work. And that for me is what, if not the most frightening thing that I can see at the moment, is the conditioning of people to become absolutely, totally acceptable. All these things become acceptable. All these things that 3, 4, 5 years ago would have been outright madness, totally acceptable. And because it's like the TIE fighter kicks the tree every day, every single day for years. We've had 2 years of this now. 2 years of you're gonna need another. And it's just this, like, what, 5 years from now we're gonna be on like number 31. It's incredible. It really is incredible. And I think if that mindset of you cannot back off when that person walks up to you, push them away. Put your hand out, keep that distance. Otherwise, we're going to end up further back than when we started, because that's where we are now. We're further back than when we started this 2 years ago. They're making the same mistakes, I call them, of not acting correctly. The government mishmashing around decisions, telling us how bad we are, telling us how, like, the are the worst people in the world. I see videos of people fighting in supermarkets because someone's not wearing a muzzle. Like, Jesus, what the freaking hell is going on? And for me, that's the most frightening thing, is as we're trying to, I'm doing these videos, and there's a massive amount of people doing videos to try and kind of keep people in frame, in tune of this madness that's happening, and trying to analyze it every day and tell people where we're at. And I'm afraid we're getting further back and further back and further back until you're just not going to see anything anymore. Brain is boggled by this. Let me know what you think of this. Have you seen what I've seen, or is it just like a few people that see this heavy conditioning? It's crazy, absolutely crazy. And the other thing I wanted to talk about today was, and this is a bit more out there, not specifically to do with anything that's going on at the moment, but perception and the power of this that we have in here. The power of the mind. Like, how powerful actually is it? Because there's certain things you can look at. If you look at someone who's the best at what they do, they've put their mind to it. So the saying, if you put your mind to it, you can achieve anything. Now, I think I heard Ike talk about it recently. He's mentioned it over his whole spanning career, but to be the best at something takes absolute focus. It takes absolutely everything inside you to become what you want to become. I was a DJ, and when we started DJing in this little village in England, and it was just that. It was just DJ in a bedroom with my mates, having a laugh, having a smoke, this and that was it. And there was no real, like, plan of, like, want to be the best DJ in the world, or want to be this, or want to be that. And the perception of it was just this little bubble of me and my mates, and that was it. Then the bubble grew a little bit bigger when we thought, let's see if we can get a gig in like the closest town. We tried and tried and tried and got one. And suddenly, like, it was the best thing ever. It was like we'd reached the edge of this new bubble. Like, wow, we've got a gig. Now, the edge of the bubble is the goal. And if you don't keep expanding, keep focusing on achieving more for yourself, I don't mean money and all the other stuff that we talk about, you know, selfishness and greed and stuff. I'm talking about fulfillment. COVID. That fulfillment that you get. I do come up with a lot of sayings actually on this channel, but one is, if you do what you love, you will never work a day in your life. And to this day, I have never worked a day in my life. And I've had all sorts of jobs, and it's because I wanted them. I wanted to run a beach bar in Thailand. We did that. I wanted to do a rooftop bar with a swimming pool with chilled music and food. I did that. I wanted to DJ, full stop. I did that. I played at some of the, if not the best clubs in Malaysia and Thailand, or parties or whatever. I'm doing this now, caring for my dad, because I wanted to do that. So my fulfillment levels all the way through my life, apart from probably when I was like 15, 16, I think that's the only time I've actually done a job where I hated it, in a warehouse, throwing boxes around, absolutely futile, no enjoyment, no fulfillment, no reward, shit wage, usual stuff. And that's when I woke up to, I don't want to do this. I want to do something I love. I want to do something that every day I wake up and go, fuck yes. And I think that's important. I think the mind is far more powerful than just these five senses we have. I think there's plenty of more senses that have been detuned over time. Technologies kind of replace some of them. You know, to be able to talk on a phone to somebody in Australia is like an old version of telepathy, really. To go into a virtual reality, you can have all these different, you can have telekinesis, you can have, you know, things that don't exist in this one. So technology's kind of replaced all these different kind of ancient senses. Yeah, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9. Now, are they endless? Are we only kind of restricted now because it's been suppressed and we've not advanced enough? Rather than, they always said that progress doesn't always go forward. And I think technology has done that. I think technology's taken away. It's made us go backwards, in a sense. It's taken away abilities and given you false abilities rather than ones you can actually do yourself. You know, it comes go back to like Egyptians and, you know, all those ancient civilizations. No technology, or apparently. You know, did they have telekinesis? Did they have telepathy? There's a thing called Bushmail in the Aboriginal side of Australia. Just have a Google what that is. Bushmail, Aboriginal Bushmail. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Still used today in some areas. But no one believes it. Because it's out there. And because it doesn't fit the narrative of having 5 senses and that's it. It was just these, that's it, no more. It's nonsense. And I don't think it is. I've seen a bit of stuff and experienced a bit of stuff in my life, and I'm sure you have. I'm sure you can relate to what I'm just about to say. You're thinking of somebody. The phone rings. Who is it? It's them. God, I used to do that with my mum all the time when she was here. All the time. First words. Can't believe it. I was just thinking about you. Her first words, oh my God, I was just thinking about you. They're there, they're in there somewhere. They're just pushed at the back, can't use them anymore. And I think it's time to really start using our minds. We've got to start positively thinking, because manifesting negative stuff isn't getting us anywhere. It might look like we're getting somewhere, but to be honest, we're going that way. We ain't going that way. So listen, we'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed this. A little bit of food for thought. Appreciate all the new subs. I've had a couple of subs in the last few days. I really appreciate that. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Mind-wise, how powerful could we be? Do you think it's just 5 and it's always been 5? Or do you think there's more? Do you think there's hundreds more? Like, so unbelievable that it's incomprehensible to us now, because we've just got this like kind of history amnesia, this ancient amnesia that none of this exists anymore. Because we're supposed to be advanced. We're supposed to be an advanced civilization. The only thing that seems advanced is technology. Yes, we've made technology, but really? Nothing's ever going to compute better than this. Nothing. And AI will get to a point where that singularity will come, where we're here, it's here, and these idiots keep making it, and it's going to get to the point where it goes past us. And it won't be better than us. It won't be, you might say, oh, it can calculate a billionth of a second, the hardest equation in the world. Who gives a shit? Who needs to do that? What sort of boast is that? It's like someone saying, oh, I can eat 500 hot dogs. Oh, well done, mate. You know what I mean? Useless. Anyway, listen, let's leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. If it's your first time here, I hope you'll subscribe and give us a like. Yeah, we'll see you on the next one. I'll try and get another one in before Crimbo. What are we today? 22nd. We'll see where we're at, if I can get another one done. I'm in like the worst Christmas ever this year. I had all sorts of personal stuff going on, and it just looks like Christmas is done. And it's just going to be me and my pa, but we'll have fun. We'll watch some stuff and we'll have drinks and whatever. But listen, take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones. Enjoy Christmas. If I don't see you before then, I will see you before New Year, guaranteed. But yeah, listen, stay safe, stay focused, put your mind to everything that you do. And I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.
Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like or dislike.